And we just heard Mr. Fellabush. Mr. Fellabush, if you would step back over here again, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
We have Mr. Fellabush, who was just speaking, and this is the third prong of the issue that we're dealing with this situation, is the injustice that allows these types of things that happen to my son. It's not only happening to him. If Mr. Fellabush, I would like you to just go ahead again and give us some of the statistics of the demographic makeup of racially. What is the racial makeup of Stafford County? What is their budget in regards to their crime rate, in regards to the other counties that are, kind of border them? What can you educate us on that, sir? And this, I'm sorry, Mr. Fellabush is a 26-year law enforcement veteran, retired as a detective, and is considering possibly running for sheriff in Stafford County because he believes in change, and that's why he's out here today. And I thank you for that, Mr. Fellabush.
Well, you have to go back to one thing. Stafford County has changed in demographics tremendously in the last 12 years since the current sheriff took over. I believe the increase is about 38,000 people, 39,000 people in the last 12 years. The budget this year, and this is all stuff that you can go online and find out. This is not secret. You can go online, you find out his budget this year is $20,600,000 and some, which is a tremendous amount of money. The current population in Stafford from the 2010 census is about 128,000 plus. Spotsylvania's census as of 2010 was 122,000. Right now, based on an article come out June 12th by the Freelance Star, they show that Stafford County has the +1 crime rate as far as violent crime over the last 2 years at 13.4+%, and the property crime rate is 19 or 20% plus over the last 2 years. So the question would be is, what are we doing with our money? Who is leading the force, so to speak? As far as the racial divide, I don't have the breakdowns of that because it's a lot of numbers in there. But the fact is, you'll find down there that there are phrases that Stafford County uses when they go out to stop people. They profile. Don't believe that they don't profile. Stafford does profile, and that comes from them themselves to me. Not everybody told me that, but it came from certain deputies. So what you have down there is a problem that's existing for decades. In a recent debate between the Commonwealth attorneys, you saw that the two prior Commonwealth attorneys, Mr. Chichester and his father, have been in office 72 years. I can't even believe that. That number is staggering.
Unbelievable.
We need a change. We need to sweep the courthouse clean and start anew this year. You have to do that. Sheriff Jett was put in there, or was referred over by Sheriff Williams, who was referred over by Sheriff Ashby. So you're going back 40 years there. That's a tremendous amount of time for the same folks to be in office. There is no cleansing of the courthouse. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your input. And again, people, we stand here today in front of the governor's office, in front of the Department of we stand here in front of the Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, okay? And we come out here and we're pleading to Governor Bob McDonnell. Governor McDonnell, I come to you from my heart, and I'm asking you, please, sir, find it in your heart to do the right thing for my son, Reginald Latson. He is not a criminal. He is going to be a very great asset to society, but we have to stop this. The judge has ruled that my son be in prison for another year and then go on to give the treatment, be to the treatment facility that our defense recommended at his sentencing. I think that needs to happen right now. He is being singled out in the jails because of the fact that I've been speaking out on, on the ills and the things that have been going on with this case. And all I'm asking, sir, and it's not all I'm asking, I know that it's huge, but my son should have never been there before. All I'm asking is to please pardon my son and let him go on to the medical facility, which is a private facility, not in a penitentiary, where he's locked up 20 hours a day and is unable, he's deteriorating by the day, okay? And it's not You know, if we want to have a better society, we don't want this to be about black or white. We are one humanity, and all of us need to come together, and we need to not coexist or even be tolerant. We need to understand that the color of our skin doesn't separate us. We are still one human being. We all bleed blood. So this is all with love that this is being said and being done. But however, we do have pockets of our society that have these very different, views, as Mr. Felbush was talking about, and there are injustices that happen, but unless we get up and speak out about it, nothing is going to happen. So again, I plead to you, Mr. Governor McDonnell, I've come to you today as a mother, and I am pleading you, I'm begging you. You've seen the petition, sir. We have 2 different petitions that have been going on, one on Care to Action, one on change.org. We mailed in over 5,000 signatures to your office last week. I would really, feel good if you would at least sit down and give this some consideration and really strongly think about how is this benefiting him by having him in a prison where the taxpayers are paying for it versus actually having him in a private hospital where we're actually paying for it. The family has to pay for it. And with that said, sir, that is my message directly to you. We have a huge issue right now going on with autism in the state of Virginia. There's been several autism bills. This is obviously a very hot button topic. My son's issue is like I said, it's a 3-pronged issue. It's racial profiling, it's the fact that he's disabled and that he has autism, and it's also the fact of dealing with racial injustice. With that said, I'm going to turn the camera over to another mother that has a young child with autism, just so she can share her views on what she thinks about the entire situation and how this story and what has happened to my son, Reginald Neli Latson, has affected her as a mother of an autistic child. Alexia, if you'd like to come forward.
Thank you so much for listening, Governor McDonnell and everyone who's assembled here and competing with the bus. My name is Alexia Ransom, and I am the mother of a little boy on the autism spectrum. I'm here because I have so much love in my heart for Reginald Latson and his family, and I'm outraged and I'm saddened at what they've endured. I met Lisa Alexander just over a year ago when a mutual friend who knew how much our family was going through in terms of our own child's diagnosis told me what had happened to Neli. I was just overcome with the amount of suffering that he was going through and what had happened to him. And I can tell you, when I heard about what had happened to him, my heart just sank. Reginald Latson is a precious young man. He stepped out of his house on May 24th, 2010, and he never returned. What happened to Neli Latson can happen to any one of our children, and what happened to him is unacceptable. What happened to Reginald Latson is my own worst nightmare for my child. The fact that it could occur in 2010 or 2011 absolutely blows my mind. And we parents of children on the spectrum, particularly those of children of color, are here today to say that what happened to Neli Latson on May 24th, 2010 is not okay. It's not okay for him, and it's not okay for any of our children. It is unconscionable to treat the least of these in our society this way, and it cannot be tolerated. Racial profiling is wrong. Abuse of the disabled is wrong. Unethical prosecutions are wrong. Bullying and traumatization of the disabled is wrong, and we won't stand for it. As parents and as a community, we demand justice and training for law enforcement. We demand accountability, and we are urging Governor McDonnell to grant freedom to Neli Latson, knowing that if what happened to Neli is allowed to stand, then none of our children are safe. So we beseech you, Governor McDonnell, please pardon Neli Latson today. Thank you.